Welcome to Your City Connections, where you get to meet entertaining and informative guests. Guests such as an artist with a brush or with a camera, and a guest with a violin. City Connections, providing insightful interviews with favorite son Lieutenant Governor Todd Lamb, to city commissioners, the mayor, interviews with a rodeo queen, to beauty queen, and even an NBA player. Now, join Steve Kime as he discusses another engaging topic on City Connections.
Hello and welcome to City Connections. Thanks for joining me today. We have a very special guest, brand new to our community. And so today we're going to be talking about Enid Public Schools, and we're also going to be talking about some football. Are you ready for some football? I know it's July, but I am ready for some football. Would you please welcome to the Enid Television Network studio set the head coach and the boys athletic director for Enid football, Coach Steve Hayes. Coach, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. It's great
Good to have you today. Thanks for joining us. Have a seat. And off we go. I've got 5 or 6, 7, maybe 8 questions for you.
Fire away.
So off we go. Again, I know you're busy, so thanks for your time today. You've been here since January. What's right off the bat? What's your impressions of the Enid community?
Love the community. Love the desire to have a great program. To have a one high school town that's really proud of the high school and what the kids are doing. Felt a lot of community support and a lot of willingness to roll up your sleeves and do the work that we need to do to get the job done.
Great. Well, Coach, I know that you have a couple titles, boys athletic director and also the head football coach here at Enid. Can you kind of just share with us what with the 2 titles you have, what kind of role is that? What are you involved in?
Well, I mean, the boys athletic director role is really a role where you want to lead, especially the head coaches of the other programs, and to create successful programs in every aspect of the boys athletics program at Enid High School. We're really excited about some of the coaches that we've brought on board this spring, with Coach Gore in baseball and Coach Loafman in soccer. Just some, and also, we think Coach Hiltbrand is going to do a great job with basketball as well. And so I'm anticipating some real improvement in our programs over the next couple years, and really excited about the leadership. And my job is to help them to be able to accomplish that, and resource it well, and hold them accountable.
I'm sure you've had the opportunity to meet different individuals in the Enid community over the past 6 months, 5 or 6 months, and most folks know that you came from Texas, and Texas and football is pretty much synonymous, and kind of like Oklahoma. But as you come to Enid, what would be the goals for someone that hasn't met you yet, and they said, okay, we got this guy from Texas, he's our new Enid High football coach. I wonder what goals he has for our program. So how would you answer that question? What kind of goals? And I'll just leave that open-ended for you.
Well, it's a much bigger project than just Coach Hayes. I think Dr. Floyd deserves a lot of credit for what he's doing as far as supporting it, resourcing it, and bringing the right people in.
And he's new as well.
Yeah, and he understands, being from Stephenville, what a successful athletic program looks like. And so I think you have to build an infrastructure which allows coaches and equips coaches to be successful. I also think that you have to create a habit and develop the habits that winning cultures have and winning teams do, and that kids do on a daily basis, as far as taking care of business in the classroom and being consistent in their work ethic and showing up to practice and doing the things that they're supposed to do. And I'm excited because I think there's a real hunger and desire and commitment to do those things at every level, from the kids to the parents to the school district and community. And I really think it's going to translate into some exciting times for Enid athletics over the next several years.
Well, I appreciate that answer, and I hope you don't mind that we went to a great effort to bring the football stadium to the Enid Television Network studios. So we thought that you might be more comfortable here on the plane service talking to us about.
Well, the weather forecast doesn't match what you've been saying, right? That's much more pleasant in here.
Well, Coach, I was in your office the other day, and by the way, it smelled like a locker room when I was there, so I knew everything was well.
There's no doubt where you are at when you're in my office.
This was sitting there at your desk, and I guess for the Enid fan, they said, this is a little different as I hand this to you.
Sure.
And we briefly visited in your office about what you're trying to achieve. We've got a new decal, the headdress, if you will. Coach, take a few moments and just kind of share with us the philosophy behind this. And to me, that's a headdress, and you've got, I think you said 25 feathers or whatever. What's this all about?
Well, you know, I really want the kids to realize to put on that helmet is a privilege. It should mean something. It should symbolize something special. And so right at the get-go, we researched what would create that type of opportunity and came up with this headdress. To me, the headdress represents great leadership, servant leadership, honor, and really recognizing that it's an honor to wear this helmet and to represent Plainsman and the Enid High School athletic program. They have to earn this. They have to demonstrate leadership. They have to demonstrate a commitment, a daily consistency in their work ethic and showing up and doing the things they're supposed to do. When they get enough points through that process, then they get the decal for their helmet placed on it. And hopefully we'll have it by the first game, but they got to earn it, and it's not guaranteed.
And I believe you shared with me the other day that you don't earn a feather. It is the entire headdress that would go on the helmet. It's not like you do one thing, so okay, you get a feather. You do three things, you get three more feathers. No, it's the entire headdress.
You bet, it's all or nothing.
All or nothing. So that was kind of the lead into my question. I guess with that mindset of the entire headdress, that you're looking for that really full-time commitment in the lifestyle of a student athlete.
That's exactly right, and so much so that even later on during the season, if they choose to make some poor choices or don't live up to what this stands for, they potentially could have the headdress removed and have to re-earn it. They're going to be reminded daily about how special it is to be a Plainsman, how special it is to compete in Enid, and we want to bring some pride to the community, and this represents this to me.
I just really appreciate you just sharing with us, you know, what the helmet's all about and basically the headdress is all about.
Yes, sir.
Let me read this quote. This is from the Enid Superintendent, Dr. Darrell Floyd.
Yes, sir.
He said this, and he's in reference to you. He has an excellent track record of success, and again, he's referring to Coach Steve Hayes. From all indication, he has great ethics, high morals, and a man of strong faith. I think he will be not only an excellent head football coach here in Enid, but also set a great example for leadership, for students, coaches, and the community as a whole. So, Coach, Dr. Floyd kind of set the standard here, or the stage here, for high morals, man of strong faith, and great ethics. Those three qualities right there, where did those come from? Was that mom and dad, or coaches, or where, or a combination of everything?
I think a lot of who I am is really driven by my faith, what I believe. It's really why I do what I do. It defines who I am. I hope I can live up completely to that description. That's quite a challenge.
Well, forgive me
I'm
for
humbled
bringing
by
it up, but I thought it was a very impressive statement about you.
Yeah.
And as we introduce people in the Enid community to what Coach Steve Hayes is all about, I thought, well, let's give the coach an opportunity to explain all these things.
Well, and it's definitely what I want to be and what I aspire to. I mean, I'm humbled that I would be described that way. I feel a commitment to live that out and to be that to the kids and coaches in the community. I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do, and that's my responsibility, and to walk accordingly. And I'm grateful for the faith that he's placed in me, and I'm going to do my best to not disappoint.
One thing that I remember, I was raised in a small community just east of here, Perry, Oklahoma, and it was a school that you could participate in all sports. Small enough that they needed you in football and basketball and wrestling and track and baseball and everything. But I just recall the great experiences, the camaraderie, the things that I learned about working with other kids and students, and just working with coaches. Those are great experiences. For someone who's not involved in, say, an athletic program, and maybe they want to be involved, Coach.
Sure.
What kind of word of encouragement or word of consideration would you offer that individual, that student says, you know, I haven't really been involved in sports, but I'd like to give it a try? What would you say to them?
You know, I think the attitude that you approach life with is why wouldn't you? Why not? You know, it's kind of the question that brought me to Enid from where I was at. It was a great place, but the opportunity here made me say, why not? Why wouldn't I come here and take advantage of the opportunity that we have to do great things here? And I challenge the kids with the same thing. You know, there are so many roles on a football team that take different skill sets and talents to fill to be successful. You know, there's a place for almost every kid who's willing to work hard and give great effort and have a great attitude to really make a difference. And you know, not everybody can be a quarterback, but there's so many different things that we need to be successful, and the quarterback needs to be successful as well. That I would strongly encourage a kid to discover what his skill sets are and to use that, making a group of people better, like a team.
Realize that you come from Texas. Texas really big on football, as we all know, as long as Oklahoma. So my question is, what would be the differences and maybe the similarities between Texas, high school Texas football and Oklahoma high school football? Start with the differences. Are there any differences?
Well, I don't know that there. I mean, there's a few differences in the rules, in that the Texas game follows the NCAA rules, and
Okay.
Oklahoma goes by the National Federation of High School Sports, and so there are some differences there. But you know, and being in a one high school town like Enid, there's not many. I mean, it's very, very similar. The desire, the passion, the commitment, the year-round effort that it takes to build a team, and so. I see more similarities than I do differences here in Enid. I think it's like anywhere else. You can go to one school and it'd be a priority and it's really a special experience, and another school in Texas or Oklahoma where it's not a priority and it's not very good program. There's bad programs in Texas too, and there's some great programs in Texas, and I feel like Oklahoma offers the same opportunity.
Coach, what adjustment will you have to make, if any? You're coming from a private school setting
Sure.
to a public school setting, and there may not be any difference at all, but somebody's thinking, well, you know, a private school's kind of this way and a public school's that way. Do you foresee any adjustments that you have to make?
The particular private
Your staff as well?
Well, the particular private school that I came from, we competed against large public schools. We also
Okay.
competed in our private conference, and so we were exposed to every aspect of athletics and the competition involved in that. Our preparation, I came from a public school prior to that, and our preparation was exactly the same. The kids are the same. The one thing that's a little bit different is the resourcing. It's a little bit more collegiate as far as fundraising and getting people to contribute, because you don't have a tax base. But you know, here in Enid, the community involvement is going to be just as important as it was at a private school. And so I really feel like that's an asset coming here. Because I recognize and have worked with the community to build a strong program, and I think Enid really presents that opportunity as well.
And we'll talk about expectations of the Enid community here in just a few moments. But I'd like to address a young man that may have just moved to the Enid community. And you know, with Vance Air Force Base, there's this in and out
Sure.
part of the community.
Sure.
And the young man or their parents is watching this interview, Coach, and they're considering being involved in, say, the football program. What word of encouragement could you offer? Let's just say to the parents, to say that my program is going to do this for the student athlete. And how would you answer that question if a parent is considering, you know, allowing their child to be involved in the football program?
Well, you know, a child that's coming into the Enid High School football program is going to have very high expectations placed on them in terms of behavior, academics, work ethic, and contributing to the team. They're going to learn the value of being unselfish and using their gifts for the benefit of the other. And all those things are part of my goal of creating great men. Because to me, those are really the principles that apply to you when you leave, that allow you to be successful and make a difference. And that is the purpose and the mission for me coaching, is that I want to prepare young men for life. And I want to contribute to society by doing that. To me, the more great men that I can produce through an athletic program, the greater my contribution to society as a whole. And after 26 years of coaching, I've been able to see the benefit of that, and I'm more committed to that now than ever, because it works.
And Coach, I've been out of high school 40-some years, but I do recall those relationships with my teammates and coaches. They always come to mind as mentors or people that kind of set the standard or set that expectation to say, Steve, our goal is for you to do these 5 things and to live these 5 things out. Before we started our interview, you made a comment that I really liked, and it was in regards that something along the lines that you would denote your success about 10 years later, how that young person's doing. He was on your football team, but 10 years later, he's doing this in the world, and you just kind of measured your success or impact on him by that. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Sure. I mean, I think, you really have to get a snapshot in the long term of what a kid's experience did for him and how he's changed and different by that. I want a kid who's in the high school football program 4 years to be much different and much better than he would have been had he not participated. Otherwise, we're not really doing a good job. You really don't see the long-term impact of that until you see the accumulation of decisions they make in their life and where that gets them. Do they take care of business? If they're supposed to go to college, they go to college. I mean, not every kid's meant for that, but every kid's meant to make a difference.
Sure.
And 10 years from now, what an impact we have in society when we have young men that are leading their families well, leading their own personal lives well, and leading in the community well. And every young man has the opportunity to grow and become somebody like that.
We've spent the last 10, 15 minutes talking about high school football, but really the underlining theme of all this is the high expectations that you have of a young person to really make a difference in this world. So you've already set the standards, or you've set the high expectations for your football team, for the individual's contributions.
Yes.
So what expectations, this is a tough question, Coach, what expectations do you have of the Enid community?
It's really important that the community partners wholeheartedly in the investment of our kids. It's not about me, it's not about the other coaches, it's about these kids that are coming through and the snapshot and the window of time that we have to pour into them and make a difference. It's limited, it'll be over at some point, and then they'll move on, and it's a community effort, and that's what's great about Enid is the strength of the community, the pride of the community, and I think a great willingness to help. I've had numerous people come up to me and say, Coach, please just let me know how we can help. We're happy to do what we can do. And to me, that's the attitude it takes to be the best that you can be. And on the football field, to compete at the highest level. If we're going to compete against some of the better schools in the state of Oklahoma, it's going to take everybody to do it. It's not about one man, it's about the whole team, the coaching staff, the school district, the community, coming together and becoming an unstoppable force.
It's been a long time since I played high school football, but Coach, I do remember you always expected a large crowd at the home game, but in Perry, Oklahoma, when we would go away to play football, it meant so much to us as we ran out on the field to see the visitor stands just packed, knowing that the community followed us over to that. So it just really speaks volume, and I really have that special memory of that. Well, we're closing out our interview, Coach. I really appreciate your time because I know things are rather hectic for you. Is there anything that you need to add or share with us as we close the program out? Is there anything that we haven't touched on that?
I kind of wake up each day and live each day with the understanding that, you've mentioned it already, that, 20 years from now, a kid's going to remember his high school football coach, good or bad.
Yeah.
Have a terrible experience, they're going to remember their coach well. They have a great experience, they're going to remember their coach well. And our goal is to really start a season of life here in Enid where kids are dramatically impacted in a positive way and remember their experience in a positive way and accumulate some wins on the field, win some championships, and do the things that it takes to get that done.
Well, it sounds like exciting times are ahead.
That's my expectation.
Okay. Coach, thanks for visiting with us here in the ETN studios. Appreciate it. And you're welcome to come back anytime.
Sure.
Anytime during the season, come back and give us an update. And thank you for joining us on City Connections. My special guest, Coach Steve Hayes, the Enid football coach, and also the boys athletic director. Thank you for being with us on City Connections. I'm Steve Kime with the City of Enid, and we'll see you next time. Until then, make it a great day.